What's up guys, Spencer here. In today's video we're going to be talking about the all-new Reds Racing engine. This past weekend we did a little bit of some testing and tuning here in Southern California. I'm running at the dirt. Yesterday we did a club race and going to be talking about some of the engine new features on the new Reds engine. Going to be talking about the clutch package, the pipe package, and some of the new features between the Super Veloce and the Gen4 Reds engine. So can I start first talking about the new 3-needle carburetor. This is a much different design than the previous carburetor. So in this engine that I'm holding is the new 3-needle carburetor, where you can see like the top end needle is more vertical, where in this one it's more slanted forward towards the carb. With the new 3-needle carburetor, it seems to have a much more fine tuning available for you, especially with the super high temperature conditions and the super cold temperature conditions. I was able to find over the weekend that I was able to tune more with the mid-range needle than ever before, and I was actually able to kind of feel what the settings were changing, where before I was always just kind of tuning with the bottom and the top end needles. And with this, the mid-range needle seems to be a lot more useful, especially when you're trying to really fine-tune your power band for the extreme conditions. Like this past weekend, you know, we've been running at the dirt, which has been super gnarly, bumpy. So I was able to get the mid-range super crispy to kind of power and navigate through the sections of the track. Kind of switching over to the back of the engine is the RTX Backplate. It's a swivel kind of design backplate, so it helps with the crankshaft not basically goaling the back of the plate to have any sort of like engine failures. It's a much smoother process of how the engine kind of functions when it's at a high temperature, because metal basically expands as it gets hotter, which things kind of start to get to function a little bit differently as it starts to go through its temperature ranges on the track. Over the weekend we ended up playing with a couple different pipe options. My standard is the 2113 pipe, the one piece. It seems like here at the dirt track, it's a much larger track. It seems like I've been preferring the 2143 pipe. It seems to really kind of help with the bottom end feeling, especially when the track's changing and you can't use the inside line to do the double or the triple, as you'll see in the video. So for those who are looking for a different kind of power band feel, the 2113 would be a good smooth track option, but also have in your inventory the 2143. As you can see between the two engines here, I kind of want to talk about the air filter boot options. This is basically the standard, the Team Associated S boot. This has been the standard for many years now. I seem to have been running this in buggy. I don't really notice a huge difference between running the 90 carb. This is the Techno boot. But if you do run, for instance, like in my Truggy, I do run the Kyosho carburetor 90 boot because it has the much wider output, I guess you can say, hole size at the top by the filter, which kind of changes the top end speed. So if you're running in buggy, the normal 90 Techno boot versus the S, in my opinion, I don't really think it's much changing unless you're running the 90 Kyosho boot. Moving on to the clutch, I'm going to be talking about the basically the flywheel steel versus aluminum, and also the 2 carbon 2 aluminum or versus all 4 aluminum. For this track, I've been running 2 carbon 2 aluminum. Typically on the aluminum shoes, I would run the 1.0 millimeter shoe size, and on the carbon I would normally running the 0.95. But it seems like with the Reds engines, I've been really liking the thicker springs on the carbon as well. So 1.0 all the way around, but 2 carbon 2 aluminum with the aluminum flywheel. It seems like, especially for the tracks that get water and it's more chocolate cake, so to speak, it definitely helps with the car revving up in its RPMs, kind of helps with not feeling so heavy on the clutch. And if you're someone that was looking for a much kind of a 10 scale feel, the 2 carbon 2 aluminum is the way to go with the aluminum flywheel. Kind of the last thing I want to talk about is the glow plugs. I know that our team in Europe runs the T4 glow plugs. I did some good experimenting over the weekend with the T3 and T4 glow plugs. It's really, to be honest with you guys watching, I definitely would recommend trying some different fuels. This seems like the T3 plug with the VP Pro Race 30% blend has a huge advantage with power and runtime. The T4 plug runs really good and it's safe to run, but it seems like if you're wanting a little bit more power and more rip, definitely the T3 plug is the way to go. For those who don't run the Pro Race blend, I would definitely look at options that have basically caster-based nitromethane with the blend, which is what the Pro Race is. The TT VP blend is not so much caster-based, which is more prone for people that run the OS style engine. So other than that, I think we pretty much covered everything. I've been super stoked on my new Gen 4 Reds engine. I've basically just running the super Veloz head. I really like that the black and the red fins, and things have been working good. I'm looking forward to getting out there at my first race for the year at the TNR challenge here in 2 weeks now. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to message me on Facebook or Instagram. And once again, thank you guys for tuning in and watching this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you have any questions, leave it in the comments below, and we'll see you guys on the next one.